All right, guys, welcome back to All Gains, getting you on the grind and improving your mind. Today, we're talking about keeping your friends. So, I think that a lot of people do not, or they at least underestimate the power of actually keeping your friends. A lot of you guys, you don't have any friends. And even though you may think that you do, you actually don't. That's what I think, at least, anyway, from what I see. A lot of people don't even have anyone that they could actually tell things to and actually trust with information. A lot of people, they like kind of lose their friends after high school, if they had friends in high school, actual friends. And I can actually say that I'm blessed to not have lost my friends after high school, at least a good amount of them. Some of them drifted off into space and they lost their damn mind. That's the truth. I think life kind of hit them hard.
Yeah,
and they're not going to come back.
Yeah,
it's actually a tragic tale.
Yeah, especially for Andrew and I. So, Andrew, for anyone who doesn't know, background information right here is Andrew and I have been friends since I think even like the end of middle school, going into high school, right? So, we've been friends for a long time, and we have stayed friends even post high school. So, a lot of people won't see a lot of that. Especially, they might have maybe one friend that they might be friends with since, maybe they were a little kid and they've always been keeping in touch with them, right? They might have that one person and they might see them maybe once or twice a year depending on what's going on with their lives. But a lot of people out there, once high school's over and they do whatever they're going to do, 90% of the time, like they lose touch with a lot of those friends that they had. And I mean, yeah, they'll probably meet some new people and they become friends with those people, but that's the thing, is that you'll become friends with new people, you'll lose those old friends. But like, if you stayed friends with them and you kept in touch and contact and actually had these types of relationships with them, like where you guys were really close, right? You'd be able to have deep conversations with them and talk to them about, like, things you might not be able to talk to, with your newer friends, because, you're just learning to really know them. You've only been with them for maybe even X amount of months, let alone years, where you've been friends with people, in high school for years, right? And I mean, people might not like their high school, may not have a lot of friends in high school, but the thing is that once you graduate, and depending on what they do, but depending on what you're doing, some of them are gonna drop off. That happens. Andrew and I, we had a friend group in high school.
Yes, it's still there. It's just a little it's come and go. They come and go.
The main friend group, I think was about 5 to 7 people. I think. And of course that included us. Right, and so
it was old gangster movies.
And so, like, if we looked at it right now, if we looked at our friend group right now and seen where it is in comparison to, right at high school, right at the senior year, about to graduate high school, the only people that are really left of that I mean, at least that we talk to more consistently than others, I think, not including ourselves, is probably like three to 4 of them, right? And so, and it's not something where, like, oh, we dropped, everyone fell off, we're not talking to them. It's more or less we all have our own things going on, but every time we talk, it's like it's like we never missed a day of talking. You know what I mean? We have built such a connection with these people that regardless of how long time has passed, it's like time never had passed when we speak to them.
Right.
And, because everyone will say, oh, you can't always just try to keep your friends because, everyone has lives. Everyone's got things that they need to do. People, get married, have kids, blah, blah, blah. One of our best friends has 2 kids, and he calls us every day. He tries to talk to us as many times as possible.
Yeah, make sure he's still alive.
And it's beautiful. It's great, and I appreciate him for wanting to try to keep talking to us. And we try to do our best to hang out and stuff when things, dealing with our work schedules, because all of our work schedules are crazy. But a lot of people out there, they don't have friends like that. They might have, a couple friends that they might talk to every so often, maybe see every once in a blue moon, but you don't have someone that you can sit down and talk to for like 5 hours and like, either shoot the shit or like have deep conversations with. You don't have anybody like that.
Yeah, I'm at the point where if one of my good friends just takes my girl, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even care, and he could have her because I know one of my good friends will take care of any girl I have. So that's at the point I'm at right now. I'm just cooling, and I guess I'm just grateful. But the how to do that is actually it is an art. First of all, you need to be a man of integrity and have morals and values. Forget the example I just gave earlier about any of my friends can take my girl, because I don't even think they would. Because a lot of your friends, your so-called friends out there, they actually would take your girl. You just don't know it, and you're never going to know it until the time comes, unfortunately, if it ever does. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But you have to be a man of integrity and character in order to actually keep friends. And it all starts with self, as we say a lot of other things on this channel does. You have to start with the self and knowing who you are and how you operate. If you're a liar, you may attract liars. If you're a thief, you may attract thieves into your life, whether it be a man, woman, who knows. But you are what you attract. If you're actually a good person, you might have good friends. Unfortunately, sometimes people go off the dark end. Like you see those old movies where there's a betrayal in the friendship and some crazy happens. But in real life, hopefully it doesn't happen. I know it does happen. But the truth is some people don't show their true colors until years later. And that can happen. But if you have social intelligence, you're able to track people's behaviors and whatnot. And from that, you can detail if they are actually a fit for your life. And sometimes you may find that the people you once thought was a good friend actually is not meant for you, and you've grown past them, and that's all right too. Sometimes you do grow past your friends, and you have to let them go, better or worse. And that takes a lot of courage, but it does happen, and it has to happen sometimes, because sometimes the only way for you to actually level up in life is for you to leave some old friends. You don't have to be a douchebag about it, be like, yo, you suck, you're a loser, I hate you, goodbye. You can just be like, hey man, we're just on different terms, I'm trying to upgrade my life, and you're still smoking weed, you're still drinking all the time, you have no life, you have no ambition, you're nothing, and you're just dead weight to me, so I have to leave you, and sayonara. Unfortunately, it does have to be like that, but hopefully you attract people that have ambition and actually add to your life and not decrease from it. But the art of keeping a friend stems from self, and it stems from your standards and what you're willing to tolerate into your life. And also know that the people that you're riding with are somewhat at least riding towards the same place. You have to also make sure that the friends you have will help make you grow and not destroy you, because sometimes you guys get involved in friends that actually just completely destroy you. Like that movie Once Upon a Time in America. If anyone has not seen the movie, definitely should. Basically about a group of friends, and then they meet each other, but they all basically take each other to the grave pretty much. And it's like very psychopathic and how it happens, but you don't want to end up in that situation. You want to get people that can actually help you grow and navigate the life, because life can be tough alone. The myth of the lone wolf, which we could probably do a separate topic on, that's a tough road to be on. Really, you want to network in life. You want to have friends that you can keep around you as backup, and you always want to have a solid backup plan in life. Maybe people you could trust. Like if you have a car and your car dies, do you have anyone that you could actually call besides your mom that would maybe come pick you up if they can? Obviously, yeah. So it does happen.
Yeah, actually, there's been a few times where I've had to do that with you.
Yeah, people always hit me for some reason.
It's either people hitting you or whatever it may be. Anytime that there's an issue, 9 times out of 10, you try to call me and I pick up and I get you.
I'm just like, help. Help.
Yeah, like what you were saying, like there's people it's all about the self, right? And if you are someone who has integrity and you have all these things, and you attract those same people, the people that have integrity as well and that are truthful and they're not crazy, it's good to grow with them, and it'd be like a village type of thing, right? A village type of aspect where you are doing your thing and you're growing and you're trying to be the best, and you go to your friend for advice and you ask them like, hey, listen, I'm going to be doing this. What do you think this sounds good? Then I'm going to do that. And then they'll give their opinion, non-biased, because they want what's best for you, right? So they're going to let you know, hey, listen, like it sounds like a good idea, but you're not seeing this point here, right? And then you guys go back and forth between that. And that type of friendship is something where that can be beneficial for every person involved in the friendship, right? If you are trying to do something and you're trying to do it on your own terms, without, like where your friends aren't really fully involved, but you're asking them for advice and they're giving you non-biased advice based on what they know, and then you could take that into account, and it could be vice versa where they might be doing something and they ask you and then you give them advice. Like it's great to be able to have people in your life that you can grow with, where everyone is growing together. They might not be growing at the same pace as each other, but being able to learn from each other and to grow and to level up yourself with one another is the probably the best thing to get. And those are the types of friends that you want to have, because if you have people in your life that pretty much do the opposite, that are just a bunch of yes men, or tell you, or that just try to, they're just a bunch of no men who pretty much tell you like, hey, listen, like that's not a good idea, like don't do that, just, stay here, do this, they try to tell you what to do, they try to tear down your dreams, types of things. Like that's some stuff that you don't want either. That you want to stay away from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it's also about finding balance. You want to be able to balance your whole entire life, your friends from your family, from your work, from your girl, whatever it may be, right? You want to make sure you're able to balance everything out. That way, everything is functioning as it should. You can't be a man and letting your life go to complete disaster and then dragging your friends along with it, because then they're just going to resent you anyway and talk shit behind your back because you're a loser. And friends don't want loser friends. It's kind of just human nature. We at least prefer not to have human, loser friends. And you want to be able to balance everything, right? So you can't be spending all your time with your friends and dumping your all your trauma onto them, because then like, oh, this guy, I can't wait to see what kind of crap he's going to tell me this week about his dumbass life. But you got to be at least entertaining somewhat to your friends and make them smile, to actually them to consider you a friend. They have to relate to you in some type of way. But some people just drown their friends' brains with sadness and negativity, and their friends are just like, oh, this guy's got to go. So you don't really want to be negative around your friends, at least constantly. You need to actually be uplifting and kind of be wise in a certain way. That's what happens when you actually develop yourself in a positive way. You can inspire those around you, and no one wants a friend that is uninspiring. That's just not cool, and it's going to get old really quick. It's cool in high school. When you get older, if you're not really inspiring to your people around you to some degree and have a distinct personality, it's just not going to flow smoothly. You need to basically balance out your time with everyone, and you want to make sure you give everyone a certain amount of time. You want to overdo it with your girl compared to your friends, and then they get into arguments about them having your time. And so you want to make sure that part of your life is settled down. And it's up to you as a man, or at least a woman too, to have everything in a certain way organized, like who you're going to spend time with, where and how. And you also can't neglect, right, people who care about you for your job too much or anything, because then even though life does happen and you may have to take some time apart from friends and stuff like that, because you got to do what you got to do to survive. And in this tough economy, another separate video that we need to talk about, because it's pretty bad out there, but you still need to, at least once a month, it'll be good to catch up with some friends, you know what I mean? Or once a year at this rate with some of you people out there. All you do is work. That's all you do. You work all day, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You work these 16-hour shifts, and then you're too tired to hang out with your friends. And I'm sure they'll understand if they're good friends, but unfortunately, work does play a big part when you get older, your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And when you're working all these hours, it's important to, take some downtime. But, if you have good friends that like you, they're going to understand that you're going through a lot, and they're going to give you some time. So if you meet up with them like a year later, it's still going to be just like yesterday. And that's real friendship right there.
Yeah. And something that I meant to say earlier that really, I think that really ties everything together is that, on how to build these types of friendships, right? It all comes down to the things that you guys do together, right? The impacts that you put onto each other's lives, like what you do with each other, like when shit gets rough, things get hard and tough on you or them, and if you're there for them, they're there for you, right? Like the day-to-day aspect of being with each other, experiencing life together. Like Andrew and I, we've been hanging out for years, right? Years and years, over, what are we in, what are we in 2025? So that's like what 15 years we've been constantly hanging out and stuff like that. It's been about almost 15 years that we've been doing this thing where we've hung out at our friend's basement all the time, and like we would play zombies and listen to music and watch movies and hang out with a bunch of other people and do all these different things. And over time, you build these relationships with people, and you experience the day-to-day of hanging out. Like you hang out one day and you're doing one thing, the next day you're hanging out, you're doing another thing, and inside those hangouts a whole different thing will happen. Like a whole story, like you can write it. You can even write it as like a novel, like someone talking about the things that people would experience on a day-to-day basis, right? Like we could go to a convenience store and some thug might come up, trying to rob us or something, and like the things that you would do to protect each other is like something right there where that is an experience that you guys have that impacted each other, and that's how you build a stronger bond. It's all about like when you want to have like friends, like the friends that we're talking about, like it's about building bonds with them and becoming emotionally connected in a way where, like we said before, if you don't speak to them for years and you finally reconnect, it's like you've never left.
Yeah,
never left before.
One thing I would highly recommend if you people don't know what you want to do with your friends, I mean, at least exercise together. I mean, I go to the gym with my friends, definitely. That's something that'll never die. I mean, exercise is like the bare minimum. If you're not a drinker or you're not, you don't like to socialize that much, I mean, at least get a workout with your friends. You don't need to have a gym membership. Even you could do a home workout, you go to the park workout, you could go for a run. I mean, there is no excuse to why you should. I mean, you don't have to work out alone. You can, but it's a good way to socialize and meet up with your friends for a workout. Like that's something that is always purposeful. You know what I mean? Just some calisthenics, some weightlifting, you name it. There's something to do. There's always something to do. You don't have to go to the wine tasting contest to see your friends.
You don't need to go to the pizza eating contest.
You don't need to do that. We don't recommend that. We recommend going to the gym. If you want to actually master the art of keeping your friends, you want to have the knowing of self. And from there, which is the beginning, that's when you can branch out, meet those who you can connect with, or if it's from high school, which is rare, but it can be done, as we've shown, it can be done to actually keep your friends from high school and all that. So something to keep in mind, and then we can get into more in the future. But guys, I'd recommend you guys check out allgainstore.com. A lot of cool merch that we think you would love to check out and be interested in. So definitely check the link in the description. Yeah, definitely check it out, allgainstore.com. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video, and we will see you guys in the next one.